Your brand new iPhone deserves the best protection, and the iLune 3-pack screen protector plus 3-pack camera lens protector has you covered. Don't take risks with your iPhone. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
The Hubble Space Telescope is still going strong, thanks to an amazing design and operations team, but its age is starting to catch up with it. Launched 35 years ago today, April 24th, this iconic telescope was initially plagued by a flawed primary mirror that made it the butt of jokes. But NASA knew how to fix it, sending astronauts on space shuttle missions in 1993 and again in subsequent years to service the telescope. These servicing missions not only fixed the mirror problem, but also installed new scientific instruments and replaced critical hardware like gyroscopes, which allow Hubble to point precisely at its targets. The combined efforts of these allowed the mission to keep humming along for 3.5 decades, and counting. But with age comes wear and tear, and Hubble is now showing signs of its advanced age. Last year, NASA shifted the scope into one gyro operations after it failed a gyroscope test, meaning it can only operate in one plane at a time. This might seem like a minor setback, but for an instrument that's relied on precise motion for decades, it's a significant change. And with Earth's atmosphere slowly pulling Hubble closer to a fiery death, the clock is ticking on when, or if, we'll see another servicing mission. Enter billionaire and aspiring NASA administrator. Jim isn't in this story, but Richard Branson's fellow billionaire, Peter, is. Not in this story either. However, Richard. Nope, we are referring to the real person being discussed here. I mean Richard and Peter aren't in the story, so we have the following billionaire that was going to save Hubble. So our guy is Jim isn't in this story, however. Our guy is actually Jim's fellow billionaire space traveler friend. No, Richard and Peter are not in the story, but actually the correct answer is indeed Jim's buddy. No one. Alright, let's get to it. So our guy is none of those guys, so our actual guy that was going to save Hubble is. Drum roll please, Richard and Peter aren't in this. No. I mean our actual guy actually being discussed here is indeed the correct answer. Actually a fellow billionaire space traveler friend of nope. Alright, let's get to it. Our actual guy that was going to save Hubble is indeed a fellow space traveler buddy friend. None of those guys are in this, so our correct answer is the Drum roll, Richard isn't, but actually our space traveling billionaire buddy is Alright, I know it's time for me to reveal that we have no idea what his name was, so let's find out. Our real guy is going to be space traveler, friend of none of those dudes Let's call him the billionaire space buddy who wants to save Hubble because our actual guy's name isn't mentioned, and we can make an educated guess that he is indeed some billionaire in the space industry, a fellow space enthusiast, and the correct answer being, Peter is not. Nope, let's try Richard. Nope, so let's see. Actually, we have no idea. Let's say our guy's name isn't important to the story, and we should just focus on who's going to save Hubble, so. Richard aren't in this either, though Peter wasn't, but a different billionaire space traveler is. Our actual guy's name isn't necessary to tell us, since it's actually about saving Hubble as our fellow space friend, is indeed going to make that happen. We're not going to find out the correct answer, so let's try it again. Okay, let's call him the Richard isn't in this space buddy. Alright, so we got our guy who wants to save the Hubble telescope from a fiery death, and actually going to make it happen because he's been chosen as NASA's next administrator. He did say, had a mission been flown, I believe it would have resulted in the development of capabilities beneficial to the future of commercial space, along with giving Hubble a new lease on life. Our guy who wants to save Hubble is actually going to make that happen because he's got some great ideas and has made strides since then. He funded Polaris Dawn, a private NASA News Network X flight that circled Earth for nearly 5 days last September. Join our NASA News Network forums to keep talking space on the latest missions, night sky, and more.